like to share with you guys the power of vulnerability. I learned this from Brene Brown. She's a doctorate in social work. She's done a lot of research with clients, many of whom have either had mental or other problems in their life, and she figured out kind of why they have those problems. And this was done through hundreds of interviews, all qualitative research. And she really figured out the power of vulnerability came from three major discoveries that she made. The first one is all about connections. The people had these problems a lot because they were lacking connection to others. And she found that this was fundamental to human experience. The fact that we need to be affirmed by others, the fact that we want to have better friends. So she figured out, okay, so there's a group of people who feel connected and a group of people who don't feel connected. I want to figure out why those people who don't feel connected don't and those who do feel connected. And after kind of some of her research, she found that the people who did feel connected also felt some belonging, also felt worthy. And those who didn't felt isolated because, well, her discovery was that why they felt isolated. And so when she split up the two groups, there was only one variable that split them. And that variable was that the perception of being worthy was enough to feel worthy. That the group that felt belonging only perceived that they were worthy of connection to others. And those who felt isolated didn't feel like they were worthy of it, either because of character flaws or because of something going on in their life. So that was her second discovery. Okay, so why do some people perceive... So vulnerability is the only, or the perception of being, the perception of feeling connection is the only thing you need to feel to be worthy. So why? Why do some people feel this perception of feeling worthy and some people don't? Well, that was her third discovery. The only reason that some people perceived being worthy is because they were courageous. And courage is different than Wizard of Oz, the lion going down the yellow brick road, feeling that he needs to be brave. This courage is a different definition. This courage is all about being able to tell the story of who you are with your full heart, which is incredibly difficult. It's very uncomfortable to be able to tell the story of who you are and talk about your insecurities. But the people who felt worthy did so because they thought, it's absolutely worth it, because I feel more alive and I feel that I can live as my most authentic self. And so really courage is linked to this idea of vulnerability. It's synonymous. So what I plan on doing in my own career is, we know through the MBA program how important it is to connect to others, relationship building. It not only helps us in our current workplace, but it helps us move up. So that's how I plan to use it, and I encourage you all to kind of take off the tough guy mask so that you can connect with others and build more lasting relationships. Switching over to her actual presentation skills and looking at the VDEC, she did incredibly well for the middle. Between the two V's, nailed it. Had great stories, used humor, really drew us in. But where she kind of failed to do is really punch both sides. So starting on the left side, her main point came 2 minutes into the presentation. So it was kind of like this strange story that I couldn't really catch at first. It seemed like she was just talking to a friend, and I kind of lost it. She also didn't really bring me back to the main point throughout. She only mentioned the main point at the very end. But she had some phenomenal quotes throughout the presentation. That's why I chose it today. It's because those stuck with me a whole year later. And finally, in choosing what she wanted me to do, she missed the end, because her end was a 30-second kind of rant about why not even about why we should do this, but kind of summarizing her entire thing. So I didn't actually know what I should be doing because of what she told me. Moving to the right side, she had great volume, but her pitch only changed when she was at the heart of her story. Besides that, she was a little more monotone when she was explaining her research. And finally, looking at visuals, she had great eye contact. Again, she did the great lock and drop, kind of at her audience. But what she failed to do is that her gestures didn't really match what she was presenting, and her PowerPoint slides didn't quite match also what she was presenting. But going back, again, she did phenomenal in the middle. She had stories that really pulled you in, and also she had self-deprecating humor. which not only made the audience interesting, but also kind of went to the example of being vulnerable on stage. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you all can be more vulnerable in your lives.